Welcome back to another from around Mijas live stream. My goodness, this is a complicated one. We've had 2 days just trying to make sure everyone can get connected. And I'm going to hand over in just a moment to Mr. Alan Boardman. Alan, welcome.
Evening, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. I've had a few stressful moments in the last 24 hours.
I think we're learning to live with this, though, aren't we? You know, modern technology isn't what it's cracked up to be.
I'm not learning to live with it. I get stressed all the time about it. And Alan, your guest this evening that everyone has been waiting for. And just a moment. Would you like to introduce your guest as if she needs any introduction to the people around Mijas?
Love to, Bill. Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around Mijas Live. Tonight, I'm really delighted to have someone I consider a friend of mine. I've known her for some years now. And as Bill kind of alluded to there, she is something of a legend on the Costa del Sol. So, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Alexandra Avery. Hi, Alex.
Oh, thank you. What a wonderful intro you gave me there, Alan.
Well, it's kind of commensurate with the amount of money you paid me before we came on, so I thought, fair enough.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, you really are something of a legend on the coast, and you've got quite a backstory as well, haven't you? I did a bit of research. I hope you don't mind about that. And I've got a little list here, and it says singer, dancer, choreographer, actress, dance tutor, cruise director, dance captain. I mean, the list just goes on, doesn't it?
Well, maybe that's jack of all trades and master of none. I don't know.
Well, not from what I've seen of you anyway. That certainly doesn't apply.
Very kind.
No, not at all. And in all those different things, all those different skills that you've got, I make it you've had at least jobs in 22 different businesses, either here on the Costa del Sol or around the world.
Well, yeah, Alan, I started working from a very young age. I finished my training at stage school at 16. And so then it was just work. So I've always been involved with some sort of in the entertainment industry.
Is it fair to say that you were one of these people, quite rare people, who was born to entertain?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you know, as many young girls do, we start ballet very early, and we love everything that's got sequins and glitter. We love all that. But when I probably first realised that I wanted to do it for a living, I was lucky enough. My dance teacher was in 42nd Street in the West End, and we went to see it as a show, as a class to see the show. And I was absolutely gobsmacked. And her name's JC Collins. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I thought, wow, now I know I love it.
Right. So what, can you remember your earliest performance, you know, whether it was paid or whether it was just in front of friends or family or whatever? Can you remember that?
I definitely can. I was about 2.5, 3 years old, and it was at the Speak Stage School in London. I was too young to go to the main school at that time, but I went to the younger child's last day morning. I was in a white tutu with tinsel, and all of us were singing How Much Doggy in the Window, turn around, shake our bottoms and go bow wow.
So, yeah, I think your career has sort of gone upwards from that point, you might say, yeah?
I don't think so. I'm turning around and shaking my bottom, yes.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Barbara Speak School, stage school. That was in London, yes? That's
right, yes. My elder brother had gone there. I went there by default. My parents didn't really have that in mind for me. But I loved it so much. Every day I go in, and apart from training, you don't know whether you're going to go out for an audition, casting director's going to come in. And the school had a really nice vibe. It was a very small school. So, the children were from 5 years old to 16 and only about 20 people per class. So you really knew everyone in the whole school. And it was a really nice, supportive environment to learn the craft.
Yeah. Now, Barbara, I mean, I've heard of that school. I'm sure a lot of people have. It's quite famous. So did you have to, qualify to get in there, pass exams to get in there? What was the process?
Well, you have to audition, but basically, if you've got the money, you can go.
Right. That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you were there for what, 3 years?
5 years. Yeah, the whole.
5 years. Okay.
I went from the whole of my senior years. So I don't know what they call it these days, but we would call it, up till Form 5.
Right. Okay.
Or something now. I don't know what they say.
And what kind of things do you think you picked up there? What kind of things that really stood you in good stead throughout your life?
Probably the best thing is things like audition technique. And it doesn't matter if you don't get the job. It isn't because you're not the best. You're just not right for what they're looking for. So it gives you a little bit of a backbone. It makes you support your other class members because you want your school to get it, not Italia Conte or Sylvia Young. So it makes you quite positive and supportive of each other. And you just learn to deal with the rejection at a young age because it's just the way things are.
Yeah, that's an important part of success, isn't it? Rejection.
Well, there's plenty of that in this industry.
Yeah. So if any younger people or mature people that are listening to this or watching this are going for audition or will go for audition in the future, what would be your best advice for them?
My advice is, if you're auditioning or training, is all the opportunities are there to grab hold of. So take them. Don't let an opportunity pass you by. If you think you could be working a little bit harder in ballet or singing or drama, just work that little bit harder. Don't just float through. Just go that extra mile because you'll get the benefits.
Right. Okay. So can you remember your first audition?
I was very, very lucky. My first audition, I got the job. And they came in and they said, over the tannoy system at the school, they said, could everybody aged between 10 and 13 please come down to the agency, please? Our secretary had a great voice. And I went down there and my hair was right and everything was right. And they were doing it was for a music video from Shakin' Stevens called A Love Worth Waiting For, where his son played the younger version of him and I played his young girlfriend from his past. Basically, right. I got the part because I looked right.
So if we go onto YouTube and look up A Love Worth Waiting For, we'll see you, will we?
You'll see that, yes. It's the first thing I ever did, so I do love it, actually.
Oh, fantastic! Well, that is an absolute must for me as soon as this interview's over.
But it only got to number 2 because it was Lionel Richie's "Hello" that kept it off the top spot.
Yeah, and that's an all-time classic.
Yes, can't compete with Lionel.
So, of all these different aspects, because you are multi-talented, you sing and you dance, and you are a proper dancer. You're not a mover. I've had quite a lot of people who've been to see you in concert, and you've done stuff for the Simply Surviving group here on the Costa del Sol, and you really are a trained dancer, aren't you?
Well, I think I'm a little bit old school, and I believe in that you've got to be the triple threat. There's no good just being able to do one thing. I always love my dancing because it's such a big form of expression. And I hear music and it moves me. I love the choreographing, and as you know, I do the dance classes, which take place in the aged care building, which I have some donation every month to them for letting me use their room. And they do a fabulous job. But we have a fun dance classes. We tap dance, we stretch, we work out, and we just dance for fun as well.
Yeah, great. So that's another string to your bow. So of all of these different things, what would you say is your favorite nowadays? What is your favorite to actually do?
I like to say I like to perform. I don't want to say singing, dancing, and acting. My strength is performing. So that covers everything. But yeah, no, it's great to be able to stand in front of an audience and just sell your song, sell your dance, or just sell it. You know.
Mm. Well, you certainly do that. You performed at a Simply Surviving group dinner at El Golf restaurant in Mijas
Oh,
Costa
that's
about what
super!
was that?
I loved it.
Sorry?
That
Yeah.
was super. I
Well,
loved it.
well, that's the thing, and everybody said afterwards, because obviously we always welcome feedback when we're organising these things, and to a man, people said she obviously loves what she's doing.
Well, I always think, you know, when I'm doing these kind of, I think I'm very good at a party show because I believe that people come out to have a good time. It's my job to make sure they get it. And if at the end of the night that everyone is dancing or table hopping or talking to people they haven't talked to before, I feel that I've
Yeah,
done my job. You know, that's
yeah.
where the, you know, when I look around afterwards and I think, oh, everyone's had a great time. You know, people do come out for a good time. I mean, I've got to give it to them. That's it.
Well, you certainly do. Now, another part of the number of places that you've been to perform, what that means is that I counted up that you've lived in at least 15 different places, either in Britain, I've got here Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Thailand, and presumably all of those were tied in somehow to your entertainment career.
Well, that's correct. Yes, I did a season in Abu Dhabi as a singer. I worked in Bangkok with a piano player in a private members club. We were there for 3 or 4 months. Pantomimes, summer seasons, and then of course the cruise ships as well. So I've
Yeah,
been around.
yeah, and around, and around. So, of all those places you've lived, which is the one that is closest to your heart?
Bangkok.
Why is that, then?
I love the people, the culture, most of all the food. But it was it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But funny you say that, Alan, because when I got off my first half world cruise, which went from Southampton down to Sydney, Australia, my parents asked me what my favourite country was, and I said Dublin. But that's because I had such a great day there. But no, really, I love the Far East. So Thailand, Singapore is just amazing for me.
Okay, so this is a bit of a cliche question, I suppose, but with all the traveling you've done and all the shows that you've been involved with, have you ever met anyone famous or even performed with anyone famous?
Really, really a lot.
Really?
I did a show at the London Palladium, and it was called a night of 100 stars at the London Palladium. And that was years ago, and I was a singer dancer. I wasn't one of the stars, unfortunately, but everyone was in that show from, oh God, I'm trying to think, Marty Kane, Sue Pollard, Dana. I am talking the late 80s, you know, so bear with me.
Yeah.
So all of those, I did pantomime with a lot of the Carry On cast, which for me I'm a big Carry On film fan. I love all of them. I was with Joan Sims and Kenneth Connor. So now I've met a lot of great stars throughout my time.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, people watching should know from the answer to that question that we don't rehearse the questions. We don't want to do that. We just want a natural chat. And but I must admit, I didn't think you were going to come back with so many people, so many.
But no, honestly, I always feel very blessed that I went to stage school because it puts you in the right place to have the opportunities. So if I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have worked with half the people I work with.
Yeah. So that was the foundation of the whole thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the cruises just then. I'm not quite sure. I'm never quite sure if a job on a cruise ship is a good thing to have. I suppose it depends on when it comes in your professional development as an entertainer. But is it a hard life or is it a really good gig to get?
It's a really good party. I mean, you might do maybe 3 or 4 shows a week. Not a lot of anything else apart from swanning around in the right kind of clothes and being nice to people. You get lots of time off, for sure. You party really, really hard. The hardest thing about the gig is getting up.
I
I
think
did
we
it for
get the
8 years
picture.
and it wore me out, but I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of asked the question because, as you know, and most people I think watching will know, one of the proteges really on the Costa del Sol, Phoebe McGregor, has just landed her first job on a cruise ship, hasn't she, in the
Yeah, she's on
Caribbean?
celebrity cruise ships. So I can only imagine what fun she's having. And I do have a little bit of a saying. Ships that pass in the night are soon forgotten, but nights that pass on the ship are never forgotten.
Oh, good
So
one, good one.
she's going to be parting her way around the world.
Yeah, yeah. So you envy her at the moment, I guess, yeah? Just starting out?
Well, I am jealous, but I am going on a cruise in April myself, on a
Oh,
river cruise performing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going on the Princesa Cristina in Holland through the botanical gardens there. I'm very lucky to get that gig, and that was from an agent that I worked with 20 years ago. And he said, "What are you doing, Alan, doing that?" I went, "Yes, I do."
wow, wow, wow. There's a testament to you, isn't it? That 20 years later they're still coming back to get you working on the cruises.
I know, but what he doesn't realise is that by now I'm twice as naughty. So he's really got a handful.
What's his number? I'll give him a shout.
He's probably watching.
Ah, well, right, okay, I don't need to. Now, teaching dance, you just mentioned, and that's quite a significant part of what you do on the Costa del Sol now. So, what kind of enjoyment do you get from that specifically?
I love teaching. I started at quite a young age. When I was 15, I started working here in a London education authority because my local dance teacher took a shine to me. And also, when I left my stage school, I also got employed there as the assistant dance teacher because they liked me too. They obviously didn't realise how naughty I was. And so I started teaching then. And then when I came back to reside on the Costa del Sol, because this has been my home for 35 years, but I've always worked away. And when I came back, I had this opportunity for working Stagecoach Theatre Art School. So I get to teach every Saturday well, which is young people age 4 to 18 years old. I love teaching. If you can pass something on, and it doesn't matter what it is, it's not just about the dancing, teaching the dancing. If you can pass on just a little bit of insight or help them grow up, maybe to be a better adult, or I don't know. But teaching is just a wonderful thing to be doing.
Oh, that's great. And you are teaching people not in the same place, obviously. Stage coaches for basically people up to 18 years of age.
That's right.
But you've got students aged from 4 up until sort of 84 or even more, haven't you, in your age care
Yes,
session?
I mean, my oldest student, I hope she won't mind me saying, is the fabulous Lady Irene. I think she's 86 now, and she's still tap dancing with me. In fact, we had a lesson today, and she's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's an inspiration, isn't it, to see people to carry on doing that. And she's still good, isn't she?
Well, I'm a big believer in use it or lose it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, in the last, I don't know how many years, but, since you've been on the Costa del Sol, you have built up this reputation as a cabaret entertainer. Not as a singer or a dancer, but as an entertainer. But I think a lot of people turn up to gigs, they come to a restaurant or they go to a club or whatever, and they see you walk out on stage and you do your stuff. But of course, there's a lot more to doing a gig, isn't there, than that? Can you just explain what is actually involved for you on the day?
Well, on the day, we do, we bring our own equipment. We have to choose the right set list for the venue of the clients we're going to have. So, for instance, if I'm working in something that's more a restaurant, I have to be a little bit more wallpaper, as we call it. If I know people are in a cabaret club or it's a private party, I can do much more of a party show. But it's all about dressing. You know, as soon as you walk in the building, you are on stage. Even before you set up your equipment, you're on stage. People are there, the staff is there, or the owner is there, and you know, from the minute you enter the room, you're on the show.
Yeah. And I was thinking also about the amount of setting up you have to do and then dismantling you have to do when everyone else is probably even on the way home, and then you've got to get it back to wherever you store it.
Well, I can set up in 7 minutes. We've
Oh,
timed
blimey.
it. It takes me longer to pack down because I do that with a glass of wine. And when I finish a gig, you know, we always stop off somewhere for a little wind down before we go home. Yes.
Yeah, because I know you do have your partner David to help you with that aspect of the show, don't you?
Yes, I don't drive. I've had 4 cars in the UK. I've never passed my test. So yeah, I can't drive. And you know, all the girl singers down here will tell you how hard it is to find parking for your car, get your equipment off, set it up. And I'm very lucky. I don't have those problems.
Yeah. I've done a couple of times. I've helped out Debbie D, who's another singer on the coast. If you're watching from outside the coast, and the whole thing really is about, like I say, it's about parking and getting access to the gig, so that when she's up and ready to go on stage, she's already been working for at least 2 hours. You know, it's not an easy industry to be in, is it?
No, I mean all day when everyone else is sitting down to have their dinner. And relaxing, starting to put our makeup on. All day has been about the show. Like, oh, I better not have a glass of wine with my lunch. What am I going to wear today? Is preparing for the evening, for the couple of hours. And it does take over.
Yeah. So a number of these events that you're doing regularly have got a charity aspect to them. Either it's in support of a certain charity, and I know that you're always receptive, aren't you, to performing at these types of events?
Yeah, I think it's really important, and more important, nowadays, that we give everyone some support, and when the money needs to go around. My dad used to say, it's not round to go round, it's flat to stack. But it's important that, we help each other out.
Yeah. And one of these charity events is one that you're doing for the Simply Surviving group, which we'll just give that a quick plug. It's at the Green Label restaurant on the 25th, Thursday the 25th of this month. And I think we've got about 15 tickets left for that. The tickets are €35 for a welcome drink and a 3-course meal. And of course, entertainment from the fabulous Alexandra Avery. And of that ticket entry price, €15 will go straight to the canine charity Adana, which is based in Estepona. And if you didn't know, most of their premises was decimated by the recent historic wildfire. It was an awful time for them, wasn't it, Alex?
Absolutely awful. So come along and give some support. I'm a big dog lover myself. I have my Elliot, my Cocker Spaniel. But can I just tell you a little bit about Simply Surviving that I know about? What they do is a group that supports a different charity every single month with special events, everything to do with cruises and dinner done cabarets, and they're doing such an amazing job. Alan, together with Val, put these things together, and so we're going to support this charity this month. Another charity, but we need you, the Moria, and it's one of the greatest, most social ways to make fun and do some good.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that, Alex. And interestingly and coincidentally, the nominated charity for next month is Aged Care.
Yeah, I've been doing a few things for Aged Care over the last 10 years. They're just amazing. People don't know enough about Aged Care, actually. They have a centre in Fengarola, Benalmadena and Canada. And it's all about, if you need someone to translate for you to go to the hospital, if you need someone to drive you, if you need help filling out a form, if you need someone to do a bit of shopping for you, it's anything you can think of. They are there to help. So we need to support it because we're all getting older.
I don't know if you can see on screen, Alex, the comment has just come in there. Can you see it?
Yes, what does it say?
It
You
says,
don't old enough to live here. Oh, 35. Oh, Vicky Anderson, thank you very much. That's very kind.
now, another string to this huge bow that you've got is a group called the Pearly Kings and Queens. So can you tell our viewers a little bit about this part of your repertoire?
Well, it doesn't belong to me. It is a group of people who really, really enjoy singing and dancing. It started off many, many years ago with Sid and Dot. They're called Sid and Dot's Lot. And they perform Pearly Kings and Queens, a bit of old time musical, and a little bit of war songs as well. And they just have a wonderful time bringing back some memories. And, you know, especially today, we're on a special day today. I've got my poppy on. So, you know, we appreciate all those. But we do anything from war songs to Knees Up Mother Brown in full costume. And it really is a good old knees up.
That's great. And you are bringing that group, are you not, to another Simply Surviving event in December?
Yeah, that's the 16th of December. And I'm not very good at saying the name of this restaurant, but something like Sierra de Aguilera. Did I say it?
That'll do. That's close enough. Just say La Sierra, and that'll do.
La Sierra restaurant, which is a wonderful restaurant. The owners also have Miraforest Golf Club as well, the Bobby Jones and Spike restaurant. Beautiful, beautiful venues. And so, yes, we're going to be doing the Queen show with a little bit of Christmas as well. But most of all, we're going to have a great day.
Excellent. Now, I believe you've got some TV cameras following you around at the moment as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I meant to say, but yes, I have. And
you don't need to mention the show.
I'm not allowed to say I'm on it yet, but I'm on it. And it's where I was last time. But we're doing a lot of things about my dog's terribly overweight. It keeps on eating the cat food. So, yeah, we've got a bit of diet regime. And that's all fun coming up on the screen on Channel 5, television, Channel 5, in the summer. You know, you never know what they're going to show, what they're not going to show. But, yes, I have got some cameras out at the moment.
Something else to look out for. Now, you've been in show business for so long. Do you have any remaining ambitions that you want to fulfill?
I think I wanted to do. You know, I probably teach dancer or I'm joking. Is there anything I'd like to do more? No, I did see a great job the other day, and it's about the murder mystery weekends. And I'd love to be a full-time actor in England at these hotels doing the murder mystery weekend. It'd be amazing.
Right. Well, maybe there's still time for that. Why not?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Okay. So in the next few months or whatever, the next year or so, I mean, what does the future hold for Alexandra Avery? What's coming up?
Well, we're not sure yet. You know, we've been through a difficult couple of years. I'm waiting for the hotels to open up properly. I'm looking for things to get a little bit more back to normal than they are. I do think work-wise, I'm very impressed with the amount of restaurants and charities that are putting together nights of entertainment. That's really, really helped all of us in this industry over here. But I'm just looking forward to working hard. As you know, I look after my mum. So, you know, my biggest job is keeping her alive, keep giving her the pills. But, you know, just onwards and upwards and staying positive.
Yeah, it's interesting that you just mentioned this. It's a bit of a phenomenon, really, that's grown from out of the COVID problem, that charities and restaurants have kind of come together to be, you know, for the mutual benefit. And the Simply Surviving group founder, as you know, Val Williams, that was her vision to try to create some income for entertainers such as yourself and for entertainment venues whose income really have been pretty much decimated.
I mean, yeah, that's the problem. I must say, I was one of the lucky ones because I got help from the government. You know, I'm a legal entertainer over here, and I was very surprised that the government gave us something, being self-employed, that they really did, and it was really helpful. And the restaurants and the charities that have pulled together, you know, with Simply Surviving, have really. And this is the busiest November I've ever.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, let's hope it carries on, as you say, Alex, onwards and upwards. I'm looking at the clock, and I hate this clock because it's beaten us, and we have to draw the interview to a close. But I want to say thank you for being a great interviewee. I can honestly say you passed the audition.
I got the job.
You got the job.
Thank you so much.
Can I just say, Alex, you have been very well behaved.
Well, that's not normal.
No?
Bill, you do seem a touch disappointed.
I am, Alan. You know, I was really hoping that she was going to give you a hard time there.
Yes, I know.
Together, you know.
I am a good
Bill,
girl, really.
Bill, I did say at the top of the interview that we've been friends for a long time, Alex and I. So no, I'm sorry. No, she won't give me a hard time.
That's been really interesting.
Missed that. That was a high kick, Alan, for you.
It was a high kick. Great. That was your foot, was it? Oh. Your turn.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I thought I knew Alex pretty well, but I've learned a lot of about Alex that I didn't realize before, and it's all interesting stuff. You're in the middle of a brilliant life, Alex, aren't you?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, life's for enjoying, life's living. So let's get on and do it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Bill, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. We've just got a quick message come in from Val. And she's saying, trying to send you a message, Alexandra. Remember, the 25th is a posh night out, and I'm sure you can be the poshest.
I will do my very, very best.
I think you might just win. Do you know that? And I think actually, if I'm correct, we're going to try to do our live stream live from the Green Label that night on the posh night out. So that's going to be fun.
You're a glutton for punishment, Bill, aren't you?
We are, yeah. Alex, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been delightful, and Alan, thank you as always for guiding the conversation. It's been lovely, and hopefully we'll see you, Alex, at some of the do's. And have a great weekend. You've got a busy weekend. Enjoy it. And next week we have Daniela, who's going to be doing some stuff about Mijas community. Thank you, everyone. It's almost the weekend, so have a great time when it comes. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.